Hi. Let's see. Okay. Hi. This is Laura Lee Calais. I've been having trouble with my Lunch for Laura with Laura videos today. This is the fourth time. I've now made, I think, 5 cards online and have had video feedback in every one. So I am trying this one more time, and I may stop it and see if it can work again. And so here we go. We're going to try this and see if it works, all right? I made a beautiful card. Let me show you my desktop and you can see. And I'm going to move my computer over so that you're not looking at it, you're looking at the beautiful cards. Okay, 1, 2, and I made another one, and I don't know where I put it. But anyway, these are the lovely cards that I've made, and I am using a stamp set that has some fancy dies with it. It's called Amazing Silhouettes. Now, I did a card with this slimline card, my first, a few weeks ago, and this time I'm not using the stamp set, I'm only using the dies. And these dies are so cool. Look at this. You have the word and then you have a shadow. So I'm going to take those off because I'm going to be using those. Here is the thank you, that's the words, and then the larger one is the shadow, and it'll be like that, if you can see that. And I'm going to turn the light off. Now, that isn't so blinding. Okay. I wanted to tell you, first of all, that I am wearing the colors today that we're using. So I don't know if you can see my dress or not, but anyway, I am using Pool Party for my card base. And let's look at the card again. So we've got 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'll take my bone folder, give that a nice crease. Then I have another layer of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have a third layer of Poppy Parade, and this is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Now the DSP measures 3 inches by 4 3/4, and it's going to be cut apart, and I wanted to show you how to do that. And then you're also going to need about a 4-inch piece of vellum. This was already cut, so I'm going to use it. Now, let's get everything cut out first. I'm going to use my mini stamp and emboss, cut and emboss machine, and since I already have this up here, I'll go ahead and do the shadow for the words. Now, I tried this both ways, and I found that having the dark color, the Poppy Parade, and the word, and then the shadow Pool Party underneath, made it pop more. So let's do that. So I'm going to get the one that is the shadow. I'm going to send it through this little baby. I am loving, this was a very good purchase. Loving my little mini, I just got it. Okay, now if the words stick in there, you can take your pick tool, but it didn't. There is one little spot right here that have to be poked out, and besides that, it's that looks great. So I'm going to put this back. Remember I gave you the tip about outlining your magnet cards, and don't do as I say, not as I do. Always when you're through with your magnet, put it back on a magnet of some sort. Whether it's, I have a little lucite thing that has a magnet sheet on it. I use that sometimes. Or put it back on your card so that it doesn't get lost. Next, and y'all are going to have to forgive my husband, I've made him be quiet and not talk on the phone or watch TV for about 3 hours because I've had trouble with my videos echoing and trying to figure that out. So if you hear him in the background, just know that's why. Okay, I'm going to cut out my word next. And send that on through. Now, when you're using the little mini cut and emboss, you're going to do the same sandwich, and it has the numbers on it. So you use a 1, a clear plate 2, then your inside, whatever you're going to be cutting, and then the plate 2 again. And you do need to rotate these now and then. See how this one's getting a little warped looking? I need to turn it up or turn it down so that it will straighten out again. But they work fine either way. Okay, that's out of the way. And look, my little word is already just coming out by itself. And oh, I did need to cut one more thing. I need to cut my little vellum. Let me get this back over here. The little die that I'm using for the rectangle comes from Stitched Rectangles. It's $35. This is an awesome set. It has 13 different dies and just about every shape or size you would ever need. So I'm going to put this here. Let me get that off. And put my plate on. Okay. Let's put that back there. I'll put this die up. Now, what I wanted to show you was how to cut your little strips. I figured out that if you cut, oops, your DSP, Designer Series paper, if you cut it at 3 inches, you can get 4 strips. So let's do that. There I am. This little cutter came from a promotion we were doing for joining members. So if you're ever interested in joining, you can go to my website or contact me. And lots of times they have a freebie that they don't offer. They'll do little joining specials now and then. Okay. So this is going to be, all right, there are my 4 strips. And you need to put these together like you're doing a puzzle. And I'm going to put this on here so it's easier to see. So you need to match up. Make sure that the flowers match. Okay. That looks like that tulip and that tulip match, and the white one. Now let's see what we're going to do here. Okay, that doesn't match. That doesn't match. right. Let's move that over. I think I see where that little bit of white goes with this tulip, and up here they match, so that'll be next. And let's see, okay, the fourth piece is going to be right there. So before you glue anything down, be sure that you go through and make sure your puzzle pieces go together. Now, to adhere them, this is a trick that I was shown. One of my downline demonstrators did this and made this beautiful card, Paula Smith, so I'm giving a shout out to her. The first thing you want to do so that you get these centered, you're going to have about 1/8 of an inch on all sides. So I'm going to start with the one on the left and the one on the far right. And I'm going to get them lined up. Okay, so those two are down. Now you just need to put these in line. Make sure that they're about the same distance on all sides. Now you're going to take a larger piece. This that I'm using is Postage Notes, and I don't think Post-it makes these anymore. There's a larger one online that's wide. It's about twice as wide as this, but you can tear it smaller and use it. You can use Scotch tape, removable tape. There's permanent and removable, so be sure you get the removable. But whatever you use, the next step is to put this down over all 4 of them, okay? And I checked to make sure that they're still just about equally spaced. Now I'm going to remove the little stickies from the first 2, and I'm going to take my DSP and my Stampin' Seal, and I am going to put some adhesive down on each of these strips. Then I'm going to put this here. So that's about right, and it looks like it's about right at the bottom. Once you have them down, then you can remove this. Now, let's put our card together except for the last few things. So I'm going to take my basic white, and I'm going to put my Stampin' Seal all around. And once you get the Stampin' Seal to go, sometimes you have to use your finger to roll it, but it helps if you'll go over some adhesive that's there, and that helps it roll a little bit. Okay, so that's there. This is going to be flat. I know I always use dimensionals, but not for this one. I'm going to put this on here flat, and okay, just making sure I'm recording. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we've got 3 pieces left. The vellum is going to go underneath the words so that it kind of mutes the colors here. They still come through, but they're softer, and that makes that thanks really pop out. To adhere these 2 together, I'm going to use my liquid multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to just put a little bit on the and always make sure it's coming out. Don't just squirt it on your project. I've done that too many times and dealt with that in kindergarten. So, okay, let's see if this will work. And I wanted to make sure that I had just a little bit on that S that's, sticking out right there. See how it will squirt out if you're not careful? And a little bit right there. Okay, then I'm going to put my word on top of the shadow. And one advantage of using the liquid glue is that you can move it around just a little bit and manipulate it before it totally sticks down. So there you have your thanks. And now I'm going to put it on here. Okay, you know how cranky vellum can be. If I use my snail or my Stampin' Seal, it's going to show through. If I use dimensionals, it's going to show through. So let me show you how to do this. The first thing is I'm going to put this on here. And I do want it popped up, so I'm going to use my mini dimensionals and spread them around. Try to put it in the fattest places. But if you can't do that, just take your little snips and trim it off if it shows. But I think that looks really good. I'm going to pull the backs off. Sometimes those can be tricky. Okay. The last one. And now I'm going to put this, let me get this so you can see it. There's my vellum. And I'm going to stick my thanks right on top. Okay. Now, see what I'm talking about? You can see the dimensionals through this. So once again, I'm going to turn to my multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to glue right over the words. Come out wherever you are. Okay. So I'm just going to go around and hit on the letters so that you won't see it when we turn it over and put it down. Okay, so see, you can't see it this side. And I'm going to put it right here. And that will hold it down. Okay, so to recap, we just used 3 layers, cut the DSP 3 by 4 3/4, and then cut them in the 3/4 inch strips. Cut out your thanks and the shadow and the vellum and put it all together. So here, before I leave you, is my April code. If you want to put in an order, you can go to my website, Stampin' at the Bird Nest. It'll be on when I show you the next view here, you can see Stampin' at the Bird Nest. And my email is 2, the number 2, Beaubet, BEAUBET, @gmail.com. I appreciate you joining me. I don't know if you're seeing the ones that were really bad. I had a lot of feedback, and I am trying very hard to figure all this electronic stuff out. So I hope you have been able to bear with me. Just turn off the sound if there are any on there that are echoing. And I hope to see you next week at Lunch with Laura at 12 noon, not at 2. And I will see you later. Love you.